Do you guys have any kind of farmland behind your houses?
We have about 20 acres of fields and farmland behind our houses.
Is your livestock raised on this farmland?
Yeah, it's raised on it.
What type of livestock do you raise?
We raise market hogs.
How long have you raised livestock?
This is my 3rd year for selling pigs.
This is my 3rd year for selling pigs, but I've done it for 6.
Why did you decide to start raising your own livestock?
I thought it'd be fun.
I thought it would be an enjoyable use of my time.
What do you feed the animals that you are raising?
We feed them like a cornmeal with corn and other proteins mixed in, and we sometimes feed them high protein pellets.
Yeah.
This big.
No problem.
Little pellets.
Do you guys eat the meat that comes from the livestock that you raise?
Yes, we do, and it's really yummy.
So you guys currently have pigs?
Yeah.
What kind of hogs do you have?
We have Yorkshires.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
what are their names?
My name's is Sunny.
Mine's Big Red.
On average, how many animals do you raise at a time?
About 2.
Yeah. Mine and her.
Yeah.
Is there a certain time of the year that you raise your animals?
From like end of winter to midsummer.
What have you learned the most through the process of raising your own livestock?
I learned like responsibility and like taking care of a pig.
I've learned responsibility.
What are your responsibilities towards your animals?
Like taking care of them, making sure they're fed, they have water, and shade.
Yeah. The main thing that they need is basically water and shade, and like a good mud bath to sit with.
Do you guys raise your animals just for yourself, or do you raise it for a club, or do you just raise it for entertainment?
The fair is usually the 1st or 2nd week of August, and it's out at the Salem County Fairgrounds. The activities that are there are shows for different clubs, or sales for different clubs, and
They have all the animals in like pens so you can come look at them.
it's fun to see other animals other than ours at the fair, and see how all of our club members' animals came out.
So you mentioned that you guys show your pigs. Can you explain to us how you show the pigs?
You have this thing called a cane. You like walk around with them, and then you walk them like near the judge so they get a good look at them, and then they judge it.
You try to steer your pig by tapping the pigs on both sides of its body and keeping the pig between you and the judge so the judge has a better look at it.
What do the judges look at when they're judging your animal?
It depends on the judge.
Some like look at like the size of the like meat portions. Some will just like pick the bigger ones in its class, and they generally like the colored ones better than the white ones.
And the judges usually come around and like ask you where parts of the pig are, and then he'll look and like inspect the parts of the pig where you pointed at, and you'll hope to get a good score and hopefully get into a better class.
What makes a pig a good pig and what makes a pig a bad pig?
You can show your pigs if it's less than 200 pounds or if it's higher than 300 pounds, but you can sell them, but not if they're under 200. They can be over 200. They can be over 300 and do it.
How do you guys prepare your pigs for the fair?
Yeah, we wash, and you want to get out there at least a couple months before the fair and start them walking with a cane.
Yeah.
And yeah, you want to wash them
Get some practice.
Yeah.
What happens at
Self-improvement though. No.
What happens at the sale of your hog?
An auctioneer auctions them off to a bunch of buyers.
And they try, you want to make the pig look good, so you try to do like last minute cleans to make the pig look good and make people want to bid on it more.
How are the pigs sold? Are they sold by the head or by the pound?
By the pound. Like my pig last year went for $2.20 a pound, and my pig the year before went $2.25 a pound. I mean no, $2.50 a pound.
How much does it cost for you to raise your pig?
You try to at least get a bag of feed a week, and the bags of feed are like $8. Yeah, and we get them once a week, and then you have to get hay and them for their house, and you have to get supplies like a rubber bowl that you could put your scraps in for them to eat.
Do you have to pay for the hog itself?
Yeah.
How much do they usually cost?
This year it was they were like 80 because they were harder to find this year, but the year before they were 50.
Do the pigs become familiar with you as they get older and you're around them?
Yeah, my pig this year, she's getting to know me better. Like, I can go out and put my hand in the feeder, get a handful of feed, and she'll come up to me and eat out of my hand. And Danny just wants to run away from people.
He's just crazy.
His name's Red.
Why do you guys wash your pigs?
To make them look clean, so they're like presentable at the fair.
To get eye candy.
Do you only wash them once or do you wash them multiple times?
We wash them a lot of times during the fair, but other than that, we try to like clean them off if it's hot outside and get all the stuff off of them.
When at the fair, after you sell them, do you do anything else with them? Or do they just sit in their pens until they leave?
They sit in, I try to go in there for at least a good half an hour with them before they leave. But that's basically it.
Do they come home with you or do they go somewhere else?
They get loaded into a trailer for slaughter.
Do your parents, do they feed you meat from the grocery store or meat, like do they buy most of the meat at the grocery store or buy most of their meat through like slaughterhouses? Or butcher shops?
We go and get stuff from butcher shops sometimes, and we sometimes get it from stores, but if we have pigs and we slaughter them, then we're definitely going to get something from them.
Can you tell a difference in meat that's bought at the grocery store and meat that's given to you from like livestock that you've raised?
Definitely. Like,
Definitely tastes different.
They probably put like all these artificial stuff in
Like make it last.
to make it last, and preservatives and stuff in the store-bought meat, and in our meat is just plain bacon, ham, chops, ribs, loins, stuff like
all
that. It's just like, it tastes so much better, I think, because you don't have all the preservatives and artificial crap.
Have you guys ever heard of the movie Food Inc?
No.
Nope.
I'm going to show you a clip of how they treat the animals and I want to see your reactions. What did you guys see in the clip that I just showed you?
We just saw a cow being pushed by a forklift.
How does that make you guys feel? To know that that's how the animals are treated that you're eating?
It makes
They're like not being taken care of
very well, or not. That's basically kind of like animal cruelty. Pushing a cow with a forklift. Like, depends, because like I said, our animals are raised with love.
So, again, after seeing that, do you think that you guys would rather raise your own livestock, or do you still want to buy your meat from the grocery store?
I would rather raise my own livestock.
Yeah. That didn't look very nice.
No. Like I've seen, but...
Can you tell me again what are the benefits of raising your own livestock?
Knowing where it comes from, knowing where it's come from, knowing where it comes from.
Also, like, knowing how it's treated is a really good benefit. Because if they're being all mean, they're probably all, like, stressed out and the meat won't taste good.
So knowing where your food comes from is like most, and how well your animals is treated is a very, very, very good way of seeing it.
Do you think that treating your animals better is gonna make their meat better in the long run?
Yes.
And you'll both continue raising your own livestock?
Yes.
What's your name and occupation?
My name is Sam Bill. I drive a tractor trailer picking up milk from dairy farms, deliver it to bottling plants, bottle gallons of milk, make half and half, milkshake mix, etc.
Describe your geographic location.
I live in Monroeville, New Jersey.
How many acres do you live on?
I live on a 72-acre farm.
Why did you decide to start raising your own livestock?
Just for something to do. Also, I like the thought of raising my own. I know what I feed them, as opposed to supermarket meat. You don't have any idea what gets fed to those animals.
What types of animals do you raise?
Pigs.
Was your family involved in the farming industry when you were growing up?
Yeah, they had a dairy farm on the same farm I live on now.
What types of animals or crops did your family raise?
They had the dairy cattle, beef cattle, and also cash crop tomatoes.
How long did your father farm?
He farmed from the early 60s till mid 80s.
Did anybody else in your family farm besides your father? Like previous?
Grandfather had the same farm.
How many acres did your family own altogether?
72.
What happened to that land when your family stopped farming?
We rented it out to other area farmers.
When you were younger, what parts of the animals did you eat?
Ate all the parts. Tongue, hamburger, roast, every part of the cow we ate when we were younger.
How would you eat the tongue?
Used to boil the tongue and make like a roast. It was like a roast beef. That's what it tasted like.
What did your family use to feed their livestock?
I had corn silage, processed feed, which is grain, ground up corn, soybean meal, hay, baled hay.
Today, what do you feed your pigs?
Table scraps other than meat. I don't give them any meat, but any produce or vegetables and processed feed.
What's in the processed feed that you give them?
I have corn, soybean meal, some minerals.
Do you purchase your food locally or through like a chain?
Locally, local feed farmer that makes his own feed.
On average, how long does it take for your livestock to be ready for sale?
Usually about 4 months.
What time of the year do you normally raise your pigs?
I like to start raising them towards the end of the spring, so you can slaughter them in the early winter, late fall.
How many pigs do you raise at a time?
I like to do around between 4 and 6, however many I can usually find, as how many young ones you can find at a time.
How do you determine how many animals you raise?
How many you can find.
Do you eat your own meat or is it strictly for sale?
Nah, I eat it, sell it, everything.
What parts of the animal do you eat now?
The pig eat everything.
Do you ever
Everything
buy
but the bones.
Do you ever buy any meat from the grocery store?
Yeah, I still buy chicken and beef.
Can you tell a difference between the pork that you buy at the grocery store and the pork that you raise in taste?
In taste, not really, depending on what you cook it with, spices and that sort of thing. You can tell a difference in the cut. The local butchers have a different cut than the supermarket cut, trims it all down and everything.
Can you explain what you mean by cut?
The supermarket trims it all, makes nice little pork chops. Our butcher makes T-bone pork chops.
How much does a pig normally sell for when you sell them?
Pig will sell for around $300 plus the butchering fee.
And how much does it usually cost for the butchering fee?
Anywhere between 150 and 180 depending on what you get for sausage made up and anything special.
Do you have any children?
Yes.
How many do you have?
I have 2 children.
Do they plan on raising their own livestock?
My younger one may in the future. She raises it now in the 4-H.
Do you think involving your children is a positive experience for them?
Yep.
Why?
So you get to see how things are grown, not just bought. The hard work it takes.
Why do you continue to grow and slaughter your own livestock?
So I enjoy it.
What are the benefits of raising your own livestock as an adult?
Saving money.
What is your name and how would you describe your occupation?
Gerald Thomas, butcher.
How would you explain the work that you do to somebody who doesn't understand it?
You raise your animal, you bring it to me, I get it prepared for you to cook and eat.
Have you ever raised your own livestock?
Yes.
Why did you decide to start raising it?
It's what I was taught to do. I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm feeding it. I get a better quality. Everything I just said, plus when you're younger, it teaches you the responsibility.
What do you feed the animals that you raise?
A mix of corn, barley, minerals, a livestock feed.
What's your name and occupation?
Craig Thomas, stock handler / farmer.
Describe your geographic location.
Monroeville, New Jersey.
How many acres do you live on?
15.
Why did you decide to start raising your own livestock?
Tax reasons.
What types of animals do you raise?
Cattle.
What inspired you to raise your own livestock?
Growing up on the farm, just being around it, and I enjoyed it. And tax reasons.
What types of animals and crops did they raise?
Cattle, hogs, flowers, and grain.
Can you share some stories about growing up on a farm?
Yeah, teaches you responsibility and how to work hard.
How long did your father farm?
All of his life.
How many acres did your family own?
80.
What happened to that land when your family stopped farming?
Still in the family, being farmed now.
When you were younger, what parts of the animal did you eat?
Pretty much all of them.
What did your family use to feed their animals?
Grain, hay.
Today, what do you feed your livestock?
Grain and hay.
On average, how long does it take for your livestock to be ready for sale?
Cattle, roughly 2 years.
How many cattle do you raise at a time?
6.
How do you determine how many you raise at a time?
Because that's pretty much all I have room for on 15 acres.
Do you eat your own meat or is it strictly for sale?
I eat my own meat.
What parts of the animal do you eat from your cattle?
Pretty much all of it.
Do you ever buy meat from the grocery store?
Yes, I believe we do. Chicken.
Can you tell a difference between beef from the grocery store and beef from your livestock?
Yes.
What's the difference?
It's much fresher.
How much does a steer sell for?
Depending on the weight, I think right now they're like $1.15 a pound. Live weight.
Do you have any children?
Yes.
Do they plan on raising their own livestock?
Probably not. Not at the present moment.
Do you think involving your children is a positive experience?
Yes, very much so.
Why is that?
Teaches them responsibility.
Why do you continue to grow and slaughter your own livestock?
Just pretty much something to occupy your time and tax reasons.
What is your name and occupation?
Michael Foote. I am a farmer.
Describe your geographic location.
As in Monroeville,
How many acres do you live on?
34.
Why did you decide to start raising your own livestock?
To make money.
What type of animals do you raise?
Goats.
What do you feed your livestock?
Grain, ground feed.
On average, how long does it take for your livestock to be ready for sale?
3 months.
What time of the year do you normally raise your goats?
We breed them so they're ready at certain ethnic holidays. Ramadan. We had 90 babies at a time.
How do you determine how many you raise at a time?
We had roughly 45 to 50 nannies, and they each have twins.
Do you eat your own meat or is it strictly for sale?
It was strictly for sale.
Why?
We deer hunted and just ate deer meat, and I could make money for.
Do you ever buy meat from the grocery store?
Sometimes.
How much does a goat sell for?
$100.
Do you have any children?
Yes, 2.
Plan on raising goats in the future?